Yeah, I think Paige is somebody that I've known since middle school. Obviously, both growing up in the Midwest. I think the biggest thing about her, like I talked about over there, is like I just really admire the way she's gone about her business over the course of the last few years. Obviously, she's been dealt a tough hand, and she's just so resilient, and the way she's been able to come back and lead this team back to a Final Four is something I really admire. Yeah, I think definitely getting everybody involved is something that I always try to focus on. I think when I'm above 10 assists, our team is very, very successful. I'm not sure our exact record on that, but I think that's been a focal point for us ever since we lost at Indiana. We kind of looked in the mirror and we really realized, we have to get more from everybody, including myself, including, the coaching staff, including every single person, whether you get in the game or whether you don't. You really got to take a step forward and be able to give more for this team. And, I think that's exactly what we've seen. I think Kate and Sid and Gabby have all been just tremendous over the course of the last couple of weeks, especially Sydney. Like, the way she's really rose to the occasion and just thrived in this moment is pretty incredible, especially for somebody that maybe, has never been in a situation like this or really been in this type of environment. She didn't get many minutes when we were in the NCAA tournament last year, and she hasn't shied away at all. Yeah, I think what drives me is just, I think there's always room for myself to get better, and, that's the biggest thing. And I think that's the thing with Coach Bluter is, like, she never stops coaching me. She always wants me to get better. She still feels like there's so many areas for myself to grow. And additionally, like, I love being in the gym. Like, I love working on my game, and that's where my confidence stems from, is all the time that I put in, and I know I'm ready for these moments. I think, I'm just a competitor more than anything. You're going to do anything to win. Yeah, I think we're similar in a lot of ways, but we're also very different in a lot of ways. I think the biggest thing is, like, Paige plays off the ball quite a bit, and I usually have the ball in my hands quite a bit. Not that she doesn't do that, but I would say that's probably the biggest, difference between the two of us. And, her game is just so smooth. Like, she's fun to watch. She moves effortlessly out there. Like, it's just so natural. It comes easy to her, but that's always been her game as long as I've known her. Like, she's just very naturally gifted, and then she additionally works really hard at it, and that makes, a great recipe for success. Yeah, I think the biggest thing about Connecticut is they're so fundamental, and they're so good in everything they do. No matter if it's defense, no matter if it's, their offensive sets and what they run, they cut hard, they pass hard. Nothing they do is any sort of sloppiness. Like, you cannot take a second off when you're guarding them. I expect them to pick me up early, full court. I expect them to show on ball screens. Everything they do is just very fundamental, and having the experience of playing them twice in my career, I think we know that, and being able to use that to the best of our ability will be huge for us. That's a tough question. It's definitely hard, and, it's hard. People always want to compare the ticket prices between the men and the women, and that's not really something you can compare when the men are playing inside of a football stadium and we're playing inside of a normal basketball stadium. And, it's hard to get tickets for your family when, there's not many tickets to come by. And, I think there's definitely the option for that. I also think, playing in these type of environments is really special. Being inside the Cavs arena is a unique experience in itself. So I think it's definitely not something that could be looked at. I don't think there's really a definitive answer, but I think, the more people you can get in the stadium and watch women's basketball, especially with the way we know the demand is for, tickets and wanting to be inside and wanting to watch the game and the viewership numbers, I think everything speaks to, more the merrier. So why not? Yeah, I feel like you kind of look at the NCAA tournament in 3 weekends. I think that's kind of how you approach it. And obviously you're going game by game. And, you know, everybody wanted to say our region was the hardest. And, you know, obviously every region is hard. And I would say, you know, I think we've been prepared throughout the NCAA tournament for this moment, but I also feel like we've been prepared all season long. You know, you look at some of our games in the Big Ten tournament, like, in reality, we shouldn't have beat Nebraska in the Big Ten championship. They really had it in the bag, but we were just resilient and gritty and found ways to win. And then, you know, we play West Virginia at home. We don't play a good offensive game. We were resilient, find ways to win. And then, you know, our offense really starts clicking again. You know, we play two really, in my eyes, complete full games between Colorado and LSU. And I think just being able to use that as confidence coming into this weekend, and, you know, no matter what, your season's either ending on Friday or Sunday. So, you know, hopefully we're here on Sunday. But for me, I think you're just able to have a lot more closure. Yeah. Oh, wow. How about that? Yeah, absolutely. I think Sharon is she's one of the best teammates I've ever had. She's so selfless. She cares about people so much. And then obviously she's very smart, being able to have a 4.0. And, you know, obviously she's decided to move on from basketball and go to nursing school, and she'll be a tremendous nurse. But to see your teammate get that type of recognition, especially somebody that maybe hasn't always had that type of opportunity, and I think we couldn't be more excited for her. None of us were surprised that she won it. You know, she's like one of the smartest people. She has a 4.0 every single semester, so more than anything, just happy for her. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's a quote we have in our locker room, framed, handwritten by Billie Jean King, and, you know, that's something Coach Bluter always talks about. And, you know, whether you want to act like the pressure is there or not, like it just is, that's just the flat out point. And I think that's something like I've just accepted. And, you know, I think I go about my business every single day. Like, I don't really feel the pressure. I know this game is, you know, I've played, you know, over the course of, you know, my entire lifetime, and I've had so much fun doing it. And, you know, I think the biggest thing is like my confidence. You know I've prepared for these moments. I know I've put in the work for these moments. So you go out there and just let your work shine. You know, it's never like what ifs in my head. It's always like, I know I'm ready for this moment. And then, you know, win or lose, that's what it was meant to be.
Mark, we all know that you played good for USA basketball. I assume this moves forward as the first time that you remember playing with Florida.
Oh gosh. Honestly, I'm sure I played her in middle school, maybe 7th, 8th grade. We both played for Nike programs for quite a while. I played for the All-Iowa Attack. She played for North Tartan, and her teams were always so good growing up. And honestly, I'm sorry, my memory is very blurry. And but I always ended up playing up when I got into high school, and she always usually played around her age group. So we didn't honestly match up a ton versus each other. But even like my normal high school, people always wanted to set up matchups between Hopkins and Dalian, like all the time. That's like the only thing people ever emailed my high school coach about. So it's just kind of funny. And, you know, she's always been dominant. Every team that she's ever been on, she's led them to great success. That's just what she does. She's just a winner. Oh gosh. Honestly, like, there's so many people, and my mind goes to like the people that I idolized growing up. Like, I have like a vivid memory growing up of watching Jimmer Mania, like Jimmer Fredette. Like, I just loved him. I had the shirt that said "Teach me how to Jimmer" growing up. Maya Moore. I was also a huge Harrison Barnes fan growing up. He was from the state of Iowa. Went to North Carolina. I had the whole Harrison Barnes jersey and North Carolina shorts. Like, I just loved him. So I would probably say them. Oh wow, it's crazy. Yeah, I think it's the biggest thing is like I've been playing this game so long, and I've always, you know, kind of had, you know, I don't know, like I've always had the vision of passing. Like I've always loved passing. I think it just speaks to being a point guard and playing that position is like that's something you have to have. You have to be able to set your teammates up for success. And I think the biggest thing is like I can almost see things happening before they happen. And as a point guard, like you have to get your teammates in positions for them to be successful and know what's going to make them successful. And you know, I'm not going to give Gabby Marshall the ball in the middle of a lane. I'm going to set her up for a 3-point shot on the outside. But maybe Sydney or Kate, I'm going to set them up to get into the paint and things like that. But I also think like playing with the same group of girls basically over the course of the 4 years has really allowed us to develop a chemistry that, you know, not only do I know what they're going to do, but they know what I'm going to do. And that, you know, makes a good recipe for success and allows us to, you know, connect on a lot of transition looks. I feel like that's where I really thrive a lot in my passing. Yeah, I think looking back at that game, like it felt my freshman year, we were maybe a little ahead of pace of where we wanted this program to be, and obviously reaching the Sweet 16. And you know, we hung in there pretty good with UConn. Like we didn't play our greatest game, and I think they ended up beating us by 15, maybe more. But now to like see where we are, it's cool to look back and reflect on that. And you know, I think more than anything, like we're ready for these moments. You know, we played UConn last year. We played them really tight. We were winning quite a bit of the game, and then, you know, didn't really execute down the stretch in the fourth. So I feel like more than anything, like nobody on our team is like afraid of this moment. We know we should be in this moment. This is really what we've worked for over the course of the last 2 to 3 years. And more than anything, you just go out there and have a blast and have fun doing it. And, you know, how fun to go up against a blue blood and a team. A lot of kids on our team, you know, you idolize. Like every young girl across the United States, it's like, what teams do you watch? Everybody says UConn. Like, that's just how it is. Like, that's what Gino's built. He, you know, he deserves that type of respect. And, you know, I think that's the coolest thing.